Please tell me I'm not the only one who, just because I started one dark romance novel, have now touched every taboo. It was a pretty long book. I don't want to talk about the smart scenes, but go and read it. Let me start by answering the question you didn't even know you had. Start now. I said it in my previous video. Start now, whether or not you have every equipment you want. This is me starting now because I know that if I keep waiting, I may never get all that I need. We are going to be specifically addressing girls that love their teacher, mentors, or somebody supposed to be leading you. This is a gothic romance for you. The book is Nocticadia by Harry Lake. Let me give you a small sort of summary without spoilers. I'll try my best. The book begins with us finding our main character, Lilia, if I'm wrong, correct me, has a mom who is ill because of her illness unknown.
That's, well, it's interesting. It's,
At the beginning of the book, we get to find out that the mother has a parasite in her body, black worms, that often at times cause her to long to be submerged underwater, to basically drown herself. That is all the parasite wants. As you read the book, you will find out why the parasite wants her to constantly be in water. Her mother dies at the beginning of the book, and she is constantly plagued with flashbacks of seeing her mother dead and then seeing those worms that come out of the mother's mouth, nose, ears, any part of the body that has an opening. She goes to school, has an assignment, and puts in a paper talking about her mother's illness, submits the paper, and then her professor calls her and tells her, wow, how did you know about this? This is kind of like a classified information that people do not have access to. And she's like, do you think I just made it up in my head? And it's like, you may have thought that you just made it up, but it's an actual illness. Her professor takes her paper and submits it to a professor in another school. That school is a school that deals with like the classified, so to speak, information. Her paper gets there, and the professor in the other school is like, this is good. For someone who has no idea such a thing exists, you put in a pretty good paper detailing the environment you think the parasite can adapt to. So forwards the letter to the head of the other school, and she's given an admission. Imagine getting a free admission because you talked about your late mother's illness that you had no idea was like top secret. Gets the admission and is moved back to first year. She was actually in second year in this first school, but she's moved back to second year. Said I wasn't going to give spoilers. So I'm going to cut there and then move forward to our love interest in the book, Dr. Brownwell, aka Dr. Death. So Nocticadia, just in case you're wondering what kind of a name it is, I did a little research and figured out that, you know, the whole Noct has to do with night time. Basically, when you read the book, you will realize that a lot of the things that happen in the book do happen at night. The parasites are nocturnal parasites. The effects of the parasitism is always during the darkness, all that Noct. Dr. Brownwell teaches parasitology. She joins his class and, well, we all fall in love with Dr. Brownwell. Then there's some crazy bits in the book that I'm done with my summary. I'm not spoiling this book further. There's some crazy bits in the book that I just have to mention for all year unhinged girls. Something happens. Her half-sister actually has issues with funding her education. So Lilia takes it upon herself to, you know, like try to find a means. And her best friend, Jada, actually gives her the idea of doing something similar to an OnlyFans. You upload a video of you to yourself. And she does it. And guess where she does it? Dr. Brownwell's freaking class. She does the video, yeah. She's about to turn off her phone and keep it in her bag. Brownwell asks for her phone. Initially, at the beginning of the book, we were told that they needed to sign a non-disclosure where they don't record things in the man's class. They basically, if you're not writing, you're not going out with anything. So he thought she was recording him, and when he watched the video much later, he knew what she was recording. Hope I gave you a pretty interesting enough detail to read this book, because I actually did like the book. It's my first gothic romance. Personally, my rating for the book is say 3.5 over 5. What I loved about the book was the fact that we were allowed to get a proper understanding of what really was happening. At the beginning of the book, Carrie did tell us that this book, she knows that it does not completely align with a lot of medical practices, and we do know that some of the times it's fiction for a reason. You're allowed to tweak things to you as the writer, your desire. The triggers were actually put out, but I didn't bring it, but I would indicate it. I would actually put it in the description or something. A couple of people do agree with me that it's a 10.5 if you're approximating 4/5, while some people did complain that they were not able to finish it. Did this book have spice? Yes, it did. I don't want to talk about the smart scenes, but go and read it. So I just said, does it have spice? I just remembered the smart scene in this book. And yes, it has a lot of spice. We are supposed to have a side talk. I want to introduce having side talks on my YouTube channel right after we've done the book review. So for today's side talk, we're going to be talking about the downward spiral of the dark romance community. If you have never read a dark romance novel, you will not relate. But if you have, please tell me I'm not the only one who, just because I started one dark romance novel, one taboo book, I have now touched every taboo age gap, reverse age gap, non-consensual consent, stalking. It just keeps getting worse. Things that are actually wrong in real life, you do them. You read them. If you agree with this, let me know, because I refuse to believe I'm the only person with that issue. So with that, we've come to the end of today's video. I just want to thank you for being here. I know it's quite short, but I'm battling with storage issues as well as a lot of other things. As you can see, my background is quite weird compared to other YouTube videos, but forget about my background. Listen to what I'm saying. So I guess that's it. Please subscribe, like, comment if you haven't already. And I just want to thank that person that actually did give me a book suggestion in the previous video. We are going to be addressing that book in the next video. Thank you so much for being very supportive. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You will not believe it, but I am being very honest with you right now. Thank you so much for clicking this video, for watching till this point. I love you. Bye.